Good day, everyone. My name is Alfonso Iorio. I'm the PI for the WAPPS-Hemo project. It is my pleasure today to discuss with you the basic function of a new exciting tool we have released for the WAPPS-Hemo suite of products. It is a switching tool that allows you to predict what the PK would be on a new concentrate based on information you have for your patient on the concentrate he's currently treated on. For now, we had set up the tool working on data for patient switching from Kovaltry to Jivi. But ideally, this will be extended as soon as data are available to other concentrate. We will use a demo site for our tour. So let me log in. As usual, you land on your list of patients. You'll see that under these header tools, where you have the edit and delete function, for patient on Kovaltry, you will see appear this icon switching tool. So I'll select now my patient on Kovaltry. And the one we will use for the demo is this patient, 45-year-old male, severe, treated currently on Kovaltry, 1,500 units every 3 days. I can access the switching tool directly from the patient list, clicking on this button. The switching tool shows me the PK on the current concentrate and the date it was executed. You see appear the Malitic logo. This is the partner who helped us develop this page. The switching tool is essentially a clinical calculator where, as usual, you can change the age, body weight, and height as required. But it has two frames, one for the current concentrate, one for the future concentrate. So initially, it loads the current regimen, 1,500 units 3 times a day, and proposes the same for Jivi. Just to give you a sense of what the switching tool does, I'll ask the tool to calculate the PK for the patient staying on the same dose, same frequency. As expected, you see in green the current PK profile on Kovaltry and the prediction for the PK on Jivi. And as expected, higher concentration at every point in time. This is the simplified graph. Of course, you can get the graph with all the confidence intervals. This might be useful if you want to use optimistic or conservative estimate. I will give you an example in a few minutes. But I find this more effective for discussing with the patient and even for my own use. Now, further down, you'll see the two regimens side by side, same dose, same frequency, same weekly usage, of course, but higher peak and higher trough for Jivi. Larger amount of time spent above 1, 3, and 15%. Assuming this is what we want to prescribe our patient, we can save this regimen, calling it, for example, 1,500 units every 3 days. However, we could, for example, ask the simulator to tell us what would happen if we intend to treat the patient with 2,000 units of either Kovaltry or Jivi, targeting a trough of 2%. Of course, what we are asking the calculator now is to tell us the interval. If I click on calculate, the system will tell me that I will need to give Kovaltry every 3 days, but I could give Jivi every 4 days to achieve the same trough using 2,000 units. Again, the comparative table shows that the same dose given with the aim of achieving a 2% trough will be needed every 3 days on Kovaltry, 4 days on Jivi. The peak will be higher on Jivi. Of course, the weekly usage will be less, and this would be the time above concentration, which are essentially identical. If this is the regimen I want to save, I can call it, for example, Jivi 4,000 units every 4 days and use it for my patient. Let's assume now that my patient has been on this for a few days, and now I want to try if I can increase the interval. For a non-bleeding patient, and now my question is, can I achieve this threshold by infusing the patient every 5 days? And if so, which dose do I need to use? And of course, for comparison, I need to set both product asking the same question. So I'm now asking the dose that I would need to use infusing every 5 days to achieve a trough of 2%. I'm not even sure if that will be possible. So I asked to calculate, and yes, it is possible. Of course, I have higher concentration with Kovaltry because I need to give much more to achieve the same trough. And indeed, I can use approximately 2,500 units of Jivi every 5 days, get a peak of 1, a trough of 2 for 3,500 units weekly. With Kovaltry, I need to give 6,500 units, almost 10,000 weekly, and I will need to accept a peak of about 1.77. You see that the time above 1%, 3 and 15, is essentially the same. And let's say this is the regimen I want to prescribe to the patient, 2,500 every 5 days, and I save the regimen. Now, if I go back to the patient tab, under treatment plan, now I have the current regimen flagged in green, Kovaltry 1,500 units every 3 days, and I have the 3 regimen I just created by simulation, all flagged with the orange star, specifying that these are generated with the switching tool, not by drawing samples and having a plasma level measurement. But I can use them, and if I select, for example, this one as the active one, this is one that from this moment on, the patient will have on my WAPPS. If I go back to the list of patient, and I select again my patient on Kovaltry, now for our patient here, the treatment regimen selected will be Jivi 2,500 every 5 days, and it will be flagged as generated with the switching tool, which reminds me that I'd better first or later use a real PK to confirm this treatment plan. I want to show you something else since I'm here. If I order my patient by age, you'll see that I have a few patients on Kovaltry that are below age 12. Of course, the switching tool is available, but if I select the switching tool, I will get a warning that this patient is below age 12, and I should consider if Kovaltry is the best choice. I can use the tool, I can simulate a regimen, but I will need to be aware of the limitation in the label. You also see that if the patient has more than one PK available, I'm prompted to select which one I want to model before the switch. This is all. I hope that this information was useful to you, and I invite you to go on WAPPS and try the switching tool yourself. Thank you very much.